Let's talk about those American League starters for a second, boys. A couple of names jump out real quick. Javi Baez. It was not on my bingo card for being an all-star starter this year. What do you guys think? What was the last time he was good, Joba? Do you remember?
He's always been a swing and miss guy. Probably, it had to be was it the year before he left to sign with the Tigers? Probably the year or two before when he was with the Cubs. Other than that, it's been, so it's been a minute. It's been 4 or 5 years probably.
I like their infield, by the way. Gleyber Torres and Javi Baez.
Javi Baez is playing outfield, dog.
Yeah, he plays center.
Oh, well, that's
he's playing center.
Well,
he's playing some
shows you how
second and
much
third.
I'm paying attention. But
Playing right.
I remember Javi Baez from either shortstop or second. That's what I remember him as. But
he was so bad but then he started hitting. They're like, we got to find you somewhere. So he's kind of been like more of a platoon guy, really now.
If he's playing center field, that's even more incredible. If you think about it, you move from the infield, second and short, and then you go to center field.
Yeah, but he's a shortstop. So your best athlete plays shortstop. They can catch the ball, they can field the ball, so you can really rotate them anywhere.
Well, I mean, Mookie Betts went the opposite way.
You know, I actually was listening to Buster Olney talk to somebody, not Buster Olney, one of the Baseball Tonight guys. I think it was Tim Kirkshin, talking about that. As soon as he stopped having to play short, the game got a lot easier for him because there's so much you have to do as a shortstop. And he had a bad hip for years and kind of tried to tough through it. He had surgery. He looks healthy, and they got him off short. He played some center while Meadows, the prospect, was out. I think he's playing more right field now. But that's the first name that jumps out. The one that I don't like is Ryan O'Hearn, who, as far as I understand, I don't think he plays every day as a DH. I think he platoons a lot. He's got good numbers, but I don't think he's an everyday guy. And Ben Rice was up for it. I know Ben Rice has struggled some. I thought he had enough to take that one. The DH in the American League is pretty weak, though. What do you guys know about O'Hearn? Speedy, let's start with you on this one.
Well, O'Hearn's always been a guy that's been a pretty steady hitter throughout his career. I think this was kind of the big breakout year. You're right. He doesn't have the eye-popping numbers. But again, it's a DH position because a lot of them rotate, sometimes play the field, sometimes don't nowadays because of the universal rule. It's not really like you have a set-in-stone type one anymore. But again, still a good, progressively good hitter. Just again, you're right. It's just a weak position this year, so it doesn't seem as good. It's not like you would say, all right, these are the 9 best hitters. You're not going to put him there.
You know, like Seiya Suzuki's so much better than him, but he's in the National League behind Ohtani at DH, so he's not going to see the light of day.
Right.
The only other name that was surprising, we talked about it already, Jacob Wilson, the rookie, son of Jack Wilson. That one was a little, came out of nowhere this year. He's a contact guy. Doesn't walk a lot, doesn't strike out a lot for a rookie at all, for anybody really.
That was the closest race, 52-48.
And who did he beat out?
Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, and he beat out Bobby Witt Jr. And arguably, there's a guy we're going to talk about later who's had a better year than both of them. That's not on this list either. He's injured right now in Jeremy Pena. Yes. But guys, shortstop, really loaded position. Jacob Wilson was hitting almost as high in batting average as Judge for most of the season. So I got that one. Some guys we haven't. Go ahead.
Jacob Wilson's legit, dude. Jacob Wilson can play baseball. He can do it defensively. He's hitting offensively. He's good. He's got a nice little swing. Can run. I mean, beating out Bobby Witt Jr. is a freaking tall task, and clearly the people in Sacramento there love their Jacob Wilson. I think he's great, dude.
Their numbers are very similar. Obviously, it's funny too because nobody really talks about batting average now, and that was the only thing that he was better than Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt's 279, 11, and 45, and Jacob Wilson was 339, 9, and 40. So I mean, it's just the dude doing it as he contact guy, doesn't strike out much, run, and obviously
it's a great story, man. It's
his dad,
he's shortstop that's good.
Mario.
Make him the face of the franchise over there.
So, Errol, if I'm counting, I see 2 guys that are Hall of Famers on there, in my opinion, on the American League side, and another guy that might be there, and one guy having one of the greatest years of all time. And if he could do that every year, he would be a Hall of Famer in the Big Dumper. But Jose Ramirez quietly has put up a Hall of Fame career, and he's still doing it. I know you guys are big fans of his that played with him. Errol, you tell me. Obviously, I'm mentioning Judge. If he's going to keep this up, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Vladimir Guerrero
By
Jr.
the way, if Judge
player,
were to retire right now, he's a Hall of Famer. Just so
you know, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is only 26. He's been
Riley
playing for a
Green's
long
my
time.
neighbor.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Riley Green a little bit because he's always been a prospect that's had good bat and ball skills. And Speedy, we talked about this earlier.
This is his second time in the All-Star.
He's been an All-Star, but now, I mean, especially in the last week, he is raking.
Yep.
My goodness.
Yep.
I mean, we know how to breed him down here in Florida, bud.
Yeah, he's been rising for a while now, and again, it's just a matter of his health.
He is a perennial All-Star, dude. He is a top-tier All-Star, one of the better hitters in baseball, extremely balanced. I mean, does it all. Does it defensively, does it offensively, can run, can throw.
I want you to slide.
Hits for average, has power. Plays on the number one team in the American League Central right now. Maybe arguably the best team in baseball. And he is their leader.
Thickness.
Errol, where does the nickname the Big Dumper rank for you for power hitters?
I mean, Speedy, what would your answer be for that one?
Or, I'm not the one that's the dumping type. That's more Scoops' department.
That actually is Scoops' department. I don't know. That's a pretty cool name. We've heard a lot of cool names over the years in professional sports, but the Big Dumper definitely stands out from all the rest. So I'll grade it an A, not an A plus. Hey,
I think the National League's got a better roster. Personally, I'm just looking at it. Got a whole bunch of Dodgers right at the top of that list. We got Will Smith at catcher, Shohei Ohtani DHing, Freddie Freeman at first base. Surprises to nobody. Ketel Marte has been really good for a number of years. He's been consistent. He's been healthy. He had that weird thing that
and Kyle Tucker, a future New York Yankee.
Oh, yeah. Well, talk about Tucker in a second. Manny Machado just keeps doing it. He's in his 30s now. Still power. He's a guy that, when it's all said and done, depending on how long he plays, they may be talking about him as a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
The elite defense. The elite. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. That's an interesting question.
I think he's
how many more years does he have to do it to be a Hall of Famer? That's my question. Because if he can, I think it might be 4 or 5 years. I think he's 33. Can he get there? Because that defense, especially when he was younger, I mean, he made plays nobody was making. Like, he could get a guy out from the tarp, man. I mean, he used to be able to. I've seen that guy do some shit. It's just crazy how good he is. It's when you put a shortstop at third, and
he's a Hall of Famer. He doesn't need to do much. He has 355 home runs, batting 280, RBIs almost 1,100, stolen bases. I mean, slugging percentage. He's a Hall of Famer.
What's his WAR? You see his WAR?
His career is 60.2.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame if he's over 60 already. I would imagine he'll have a few more years. He'll get to 70. Speedy, what's like that cutoff for the Hall of Fame with WAR? They usually talk about it.
I know. They usually. I have to see the whole era adjusted because I know it's different with the different eras.
So it says the average Hall of Famer gets between 50 and 70 WAR, with the top legends that are like over 100. So he's right on pace. You're right. Because of that defense is going to get that WAR up there. That's the deal with him. So other guys, Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, former Mets prospect. Pete Crow Armstrong is having one of the best seasons nobody saw coming, playing center field, was always great defender, and now he's one of the top 5 hitters in baseball, playing in front of, I mentioned Seiya Suzuki. I'm sure he'll be on the All-Star team eventually, but Kyle Tucker having just an absurd contract season. He's got 21 stolen bases after tonight. I think he's over 15 homers. He's hitting with average power, lots of doubles. Errol, where is that? How much money is Kyle Tucker getting next year? He's going to get paid.
Kyle Tucker's legit. Maybe a future Yankee. Good swing. We'll see what happens. And Francisco Lindor, one of the best players in the game of baseball, Mr. Smiles. Fantastic.
Crazy. He's been there 5 times, but this is the first time he's ever started.
That is
That's
interesting. Who was he behind that he couldn't start over when he was in Cleveland?
That's a good question. I don't remember who the starting shortstop was for them in that All-Star games, but I do remember
Late
he was
2010s, early 2020s.
Would have been 20.
It would have been
Well-
2017, 16, 17, 18,
Yeah, who would that be?
and 19.
Let's see. I'll try to find it out real quick. In real time, Carlos Correa.
That's who I thought it
Oh.
was going to be, Correa, but I didn't think Correa.
Xander Bogarts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they
see,
had
I
a
don't
couple
think
of
they're as
years
good
there.
as Frankie. Frankie's,
No,
dude, he's
no way.
Well, that's where it comes with the stupid, like, okay, yeah, he's in Cleveland, and yeah, they're great fans, but now you have a bigger market with a Xander and stuff like that. I mean, that's
why I think the fan vote is stupid, man.
I think it should be flip flopped. I think the fans should do the reserves, the players should do the starters.
I think the player. I mean, I like the fan vote because it, obviously I like it, but I like it in the fact that it gets fans talking about baseball and voting on the players. But like some guys that are in it shouldn't be in it.
Well,
like,
and the
because
crazy
they're-
part this year, half of the starters, this is their first time ever starting an All-Star game.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's fine. I mean, that's crazy. But at the same time, there's guys that are hitting, 200. That'll be an all-star.
How is James Wood not even in a conversation?
Well,
Well,
I
I,
mean,
think it's
somebody
because
has to go from
Acuna
one-
voted for. This is the votes, right? So Acuna, look, you can't say anything. He hasn't played the whole season, obviously. I don't know what the criteria was for games to be voted in, but everyone knows the season Acuna had. A couple
You
years
don't
ago.
have. There is no games. There was a year. Omar Infante, after the Royals won, he was hitting like 208, and he was leading the All-Star vote gets. And
that's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
real. Like that's why the All-Star. It's whatever. It's just. It's like, dude, the pitchers. The pitchers are more true, because the players vote for the pitchers. You get a list that comes out. Your name is on the list, and you bubble in the guys who you want. And most of the time, like there's great middle relievers that don't become All-Stars because they don't have the saves. So it'd be just, it's obviously when you watch the All-Star game, it goes starting pitcher, whatever. And when they get to the bullpen, if those guys actually want to pitch that day, it's like closer. Very rarely do you see like a setup guy make it with 40 holds or something. It sucks. But I think that's more true